as we kind of talk about what's going to be hot in 2023. But the halving 2020, is important because we're coming up in about 3 months to that period where crypto spring ends, crypto summer begins, and we head toward the next halving in 2024. All that glitters when central banksters print and print gold and orange coin. Back to the mining theme, hard assets, buy what is hard, get real, another hashtag of mine. Another one, inflation fading, economies are slowing, liquidity reigns. So the pivot is definitely here. Another one, I tweeted something out from Brian Sullivan, who does the really early show, the 5 a.m. show on CNBC. And he said, even if over the next 30 years we get to 120 million EVs on the planet from 15 million today, we should have no decrease in the demand for oil because you got to transport all the stuff to make the EVs all around the world. So oil and gas reviled, demand destruction subsides, prices head for skies. So I think there is serious melt-up risk in the oil market. One of my favorites, since I just seated a European long-only manager, heard Europe was dead. No good companies around. Buy what is on sale. So those are a few of mine there's another one. COVID zero gone. China valuations low. Stimulus to flow. That's a bit with the liquidity reigns. And then one more. King dollar dethroned. Hegemony up for grabs. Yuan, then Bitcoin. By 2025, which is not very far from now, there will be 2 billion Gen A's, Gen Alphas, the largest generation ever. 385,000 Gen Alphas born each day, fully digital native. They'll never use a physical wallet. They'll never set an analog alarm clock. They will never put film in a camera. They will all use crypto. We talk about S curves all the time. First decade, first 10%, next decade, next 80%, and then the last decade, the last 10%. And that's any trend, right? And he showed cars. And in 1900, the automobile was 14 years old, right? And only about 10% of people had an automobile. And then there was this inflection point over the next decade where 90% of people had automobiles and the horseless carriage went away. And so turns out Bitcoin is 14 years old, about the same as the automobile, and probably going to have the same type of adoption. But I just thought that was, when we talk about technological innovation, disruption, it's on the outs right now, right? I mean, poor Kathy, down every single day, right? People are just selling ARK. I joke the ARK has sprung a leak and everyone thinks innovation's dead. Look, I'm old. I lived through 2001, 2002. This is exactly exactly what happened in 2001, 2002. Enron defrauded people. Tyco defrauded people. People were like, oh, this WorldCom, square inch real estate. There'll never be, this internet thing. It's going to die. And pets.com is stupid. And you guys are all idiots. And, board was like ready to fire us at UNC for investing in this stupid stuff. And then, we had this art technology group thing where we put in for every dollar we put in, our cost of the stock was 50 cents and we sold it for $100. We made 200 times our money, turned $100,000 into $20 million for the university. They're like, oh, I like that. Do that more.
do more of that. Yeah.
Do more of that. Do more of that.
Yeah.
But then it went to zero. Literally, the stock went to zero. The company, but then here's the interesting thing. And this is another chart that I saw this morning that's amazing. If you look at all the comparisons of the bubble that we just lived through to 2000, Right? They all look the same. Right? NASDAQ went up and then it went down 84%. And Peloton went up and went down. And Tesla went up and went down. And everything looks like this bubble chart. But then this guy put the next part of the chart, which is, then NASDAQ went parabolic. Now, it took 20 years, but it went super parabolic, went way higher than the 2000 peak. Now, gold, I think it's going to have a good year, but it won't have a great year because JP Morgan's going to spoof it, right? They're going to try to keep it down because if it takes off, that damns the Fed, basically indicts the Fed by saying that you destroyed the money, right? Because gold is money, right? And as gold prices rise, we realize that our money is less valuable. Like if other stuff rises, that can be temporal, like I think real estate. I think that's a temporal thing. And with rising rates, interest rate, housing prices are going to fall. But gold is the ultimate arbiter of value. And that's why I think Bitcoin will have a better year than gold. Like, Schiff's going to be crying again by the end of the year. But he's always crying. He's always crying.